Donkey spoke. If you are coming across my video for the first time, you're welcome. Be patient, calm down, and listen before you comment. On my platform, I try to discuss some Bible controversial stories just in order for us to relate to some of them, especially bringing them to, recent time and placing ourselves in the story for better understanding, because some of these stories are becoming very obsolete, and the new generation men of God are not doing justice to explaining some of these stories. In fact, most of them even avoid them entirely. And when they make efforts at explaining them, they cause a lot of blunder. And that doesn't also stop these stories from remaining controversial. And it has exposed a lot of believers into and not making sense of some of them and leaving them at crossroads. We can already see that many Christians, many believers cannot answer basic questions about their faith, and at the end of the day, some of them are even completely losing their faith, because of some questions that they never got answers to. And this is me always disclaiming that I am not supporting or representing any denomination at all. I am being neutral on my platform. When I bring some of these controversial stories, if my mind tells me to offer my explanations to them, I do. If my mind tells me to just leave it open, I leave it hanging and allow people to contribute, make opinions, argue, and bring in their own sides, their own understanding to some of these stories. And on today's edition, we are going to talk about Balaam and his donkey. This story is found in the book of Numbers, chapter 22, where the people of Israel were coming out of Egypt, and of course, they had to pass different nations, countries, territories before they got to the promised land. And when they got to Moab, they encountered difficulties. Balak, being in charge at that time, saw this multitude of people approaching their territory and became really terrified. And there was a man that time that was a medium or a diviner, someone that hears from God, that people consult when they have problems, native doctor or whatever, a medium. His name was Balaam. And the people of Moab went to consult him about this approaching multitude. Are they in any kind of danger with these people? To ask him what universe or what God thinks about this approaching multitude, and if possible to curse them or to do away with them, because by the time they pass through Moab, they will eat everything in their stores, in their market. The animals will eat up the whole grasses on the field, and you know what it is like. So the problem here is not just the fact that God permitted Balaam to go to respond to Balak, the mouth speaker of the people of Moab. He permitted him to go, but then on the way, he also obstructed his movement, sent an angel with a sword to block the way. Balaam was going with a donkey. Now, Balaam's donkey saw a vision that Balaam did not see. First of all, the donkey saw the angel with a sword and was trying to, maneuver or to avoid getting hurt or even getting his master, Balaam, hurt. Balaam, the seer, did not see this. The animal saw it. Balaam was hitting the donkey with a rod. And donkey was, why do you hit me? Why do you have to hit me this many times? I have been carrying you all your life and all of that. For goodness sake, what donkey talks? How? How? This story doesn't make sense. It doesn't appear real at all. And since after then, in the history of the Bible, no animal spoke again. How come? Were animals speaking before then? What led to the fabrication of this story? Yes, I got the fact that God doesn't want to curse the people of Israel. because they are his people set apart, people after his own heart and all of that. We understood, instead of Balaam to curse them, because Moab wanted them to be destroyed so that they won't pose any kind of risk to their territory. And God ended up blessing them through Balaam instead of cursing them. But this story could have still sold without that part where the donkey spoke. You know, God could have, as usual, appeared on the way to Balaam and tell him not to curse the people or hindered him from making the movement. Why the whole fabrication of the donkey talking and saying this and that? Guys, what sense do you people make out of this? Because to me, this story is of no essence at all. Is there anything I missed out of the story? Do you guys think it's justifiable to tell us that a donkey spoke when we know that animals don't speak? This kind of story is, to me, is one of the strongest stories that discredited Bible narratives. See you guys on the next one.